Good morning, NBA fans, Warriors fans. I'm in the building. We are here to officially recap the latest Golden State game. First off, shout out to everyone that pulled up on us in the playback.tv/Go Blooded. We watched the games live there. If you want to watch those, go tap in. But what a game this was, man. Okay? I'm excited. I'm happy. What a game. First off, shout out to Klay Thompson. Okay? This was a emotional game. He tried to walk things off by saying, oh, yeah, it's just another game. No, it wasn't. All the sailor hats in attendance. Golden State really showed up and really paid homage to Klay in a very good and touching way. But this was a very much locked in game. Neither team forgot that this was Golden State versus the Dallas Mavericks for who could actually win the game after the second half. I thought the first quarter was a lot of them trying to feed Klay here and there, but things became way more natural in the second half. And I got to say, this is a very, very important win for the Golden State Warriors, because for me as a Warriors fan, a lot of people this season have really just shrugged off how good Golden State has been, because in their mind, they haven't played comp, or, oh, the teams that they're playing are hurt. Well, there's no excuse. Klay Thompson was there. Luka was there. Right? Kyrie Irving was there. Gafford, Lively, they were there. So their team was pretty much whole against us. We didn't have Kyle Anderson, actually, so look at that. But anyway, I'm not going to get too sidetracked on that. The point is, Golden State has been playing good basketball. I still have my questions about this team as a playoff team still. But in terms of how they are playing, and again, we're only 11 games in, I'm not going to go too crazy, but the defense in every single game, as I said in my last Golden State update video, has been a real thing that has gotten them to multiple high-level wins. And again, in this type of game, Luka Doncic has 30 plus on, I'm pretty sure he took like 27 shots in this game. The defense from Andrew Wiggins has been stellar. And I got to give Andrew Wiggins a ton of praise and a ton of credit, because last year I thought he had a very inconsistent up and down season. I think this year all around he's been better, but more importantly, the defense that I knew that I expected to see from Andrew Wiggins has been a lot better against high-level competition. I thought he did a good job against Tatum. I thought he did a very good job tonight against Luka Doncic. A lot of what the Mavericks were doing at times where they were waiting for Wiggins to hit the bench to play Luka, and to Luka's credit, he played extremely well against every other Warrior not named Andrew Wiggins. I mean, for the last possession of the game, which I thought would go to Kyrie Irving, because in the fourth quarter, Kyrie started to really step his game up. The ball goes to Luka. Wiggins is fighting through everything to make sure he stays attached. Luka tries a hero miracle three, and Andrew Wiggins is on that, and he damn near airballs. And that's kind of the game, right? That's how we win after a tough and turbulent fourth quarter. So that was crazy. But as Warriors fans, let's get right to it. Stephen Curry arrives. And I've been saying this before. I think he's had a pretty good overall season. Again, he missed 3 games, so the sample size for some people might not be there. But against Boston, took the game over. Had a 6-point first half, but if you watch the game, that 6-point first half was very, very masterful. The control over the game was 100% there from Steph Curry. So I still would say he played extremely well. And again, 27 points in that game, very efficient. Really controlled the game in the third and fourth quarters. We saw the superstar impact we're used to seeing from Steph Curry against Oklahoma City. Dominated to where he really only played 3 quarters, but then at the tail end of the fourth, because this team was choking another 30-point lead, they put Steph in the game. He iced the game. We go home. I understand Che got hurt, so a lot of people says that win doesn't count. I refuse to give them that at all, because they still had Shai Gilgeous and they still have a very good team. But moving on from that, in this game, Steph Curry was amazing. 37 points. He becomes the first player 36 and up outside of LeBron James and Michael Jordan that have back-to-back 35-point games. He was a plus 24 on the night, 14 for 27 from the field, 5 for 12 from 3, 4 or 5 from the free throw line. Steph got to make that free throw. Free throws actually killed us a lot in this game for the Warriors as a whole. I'm going to get to that in a minute. But he also had 9 assists and 6 rebounds, 2 blocks and a steal. Also, let's talk about this. Defensively, Steph has been good this year, man. If you've been watching the way that he stayed attached to his signups, and also the way that he's getting in the passing lanes to get steals and deflections, his team defense has been spectacular to start this season. So when it comes down to me evaluating exactly how good we are as a team, Steph Curry has played immensely on both ends of the floor. And again, in a lineup where there's actually better spacing, shout out to DeAnthony Melton. He shot 2 of 6, but still you saw the impact between having him in the game and having GP2 in the game offensively. So that was great. I got to give Steph his flowers because a lot of people question if he can still be a top 10 player. So far in the season, he's shown that was a foolish presumption that he couldn't be. He's playing extremely good basketball this late into his career. We have never seen a point guard at this age dominate the game the way that Steph Curry is. We just have not. So give Steph a lot of credit for playing at this super high level. But beyond that, shout out to Draymond, man. Draymond is the guy that a lot of Warriors fans looked at as a wild card because he had a lot of weird moments last year, wasn't all the way locked in. This team wasn't that great, and him not being there was a part of them not being great. But you can always tell with Draymond where his energy level is at because that can tell you how good the team is or not. This team looks legitimately like a good team. Draymond Green is locked in, dialed in, played very, very well yesterday. The defensive masterclass he put on in the fourth quarter while Steph was masterclass on the offense was insane, man. Draymond himself in this game, 11 points, 6 assists, 7 rebounds, 2 of 4 from 3. Just being able to knock down 2 threes from Draymond at this stage of his career is a much needed benefit. And Draymond scoring over 10 is impressive in his own right. So again, big shout out to Draymond, needed that. This game was very interesting because the Mavericks went to Klay Thompson a good amount of times. And Klay, to his credit, had a pretty valid game for Klay Thompson. I mean, 22 points, 6 for 12 on threes, on 7 of 17 shooting, 3 assists, 4 boards. Klay was okay. They went to Klay in a lot of ways, and I find it funny because Steph was guarding him on some of those possessions, and Steph was really taking it personal. You can see Steph was locked in, really wanting to compete. I love the fire in both teams in this game a whole lot. Gafford played pretty well as well defensively. A lot of good stops, but I want to talk about Derrick Lively real quick. So I like Derrick Lively. I don't hate on Derrick Lively, but I will say this. As someone that was running his mouth in the offseason about defense and Gobert and how much money he's getting paid compared to Gobert and how they couldn't rely on him down the stretch. Well, guess what? When Steph Curry had you on the switch in this game and he was torching you and he was cooking you, I expect you to go out there and guard that. Don't say, oh, it's Steph. It's one of the best players, because when Gobert is out there doing that for Luka, it's just memes. It's just, oh, look at how bad on defense Gobert is. But no one keeps that same energy with Lively. Just want to note that. Okay. But Lively's still a very good player. We just had a lot of success in some of those matchups. So that's something I want to highlight. The fourth quarter to me told me a lot about this team because it was a very close game. The Mavericks actually began to pull off in the game. A timeout happens, and then Steph literally scores our last 10 points of the ball game. He had 12 points in the fourth quarter, 57% from the field. He was terrific when we needed him the most. And then Draymond, again, defensively, the block on Gafford was such a huge momentum play. And I want to give a huge shout out to Buddy Hield. And I know it's weird because people label me as a Buddy Hield hater. Buddy Hield shot 6 of 13, only made 2 of his threes. He took 8 in total. But if you watched him, I know he was a minus 21, probably because of the defense or whatever. I can hear that. But the way he was getting downhill and getting layups was so important. His 14 off the bench was humongous if you're watching the game. So got to give that a shout out. But at the end of the day, this Golden State team did everything to win this game. They did. The defense in spots was great. Looney and Trace basically combined for over 20 rebounds. That was insanity in itself. Kuminga had a lot of big moments in his game, 16 points. He's been playing a lot better since the Houston Rockets game where they almost blew that game. And it's been great. B-Pots has not been good. B-Pots, Mr. Untouchable, haven't seen the hype. Has not been that great so far in this season. I know that the plus minus was, popping out, but he's so scared to play basketball, scared to shoot the ball, sometimes scared to pass the ball. Whenever he attacks the closeout, I know he's looking to reset the pass. He's not really trying to score at the rim or take a pull-up shot when there's any type of space. If it's not like a wide open shot with 3 or 4 feet between them, B-Pos isn't shooting the ball. And it was funny because he made a step back there. I'm like, okay, good. Can we like get more of those up on volume? Especially when Steph's not on the floor? Not really. So hope he figures it out, but he has not been playing that well, in my opinion. But it didn't matter, man. Golden State wins. They advanced to 9-2. I kept saying the November stretch is where we're going to see how real of a team Golden State can be. And they're playing very good basketball. I personally wouldn't tweak too much things about this roster right now. It's just hard for me because I'm telling you, in playoff basketball, I think they really are going to need to have a better second option. And this team gets a lot of comparisons to the 2022 team, but I feel like the defense in 22 was just better than what it's been so far. And I think when I'm looking at this in a whole, you really need that guy to rely on based on the competition at the highest level. Sure, I think the Western Conference is a crapshoot right now, but the Eastern Conference is still very, very serious. The Boston Celtics are a legitimate team, and if they're able to make it out of the Eastern Conference, I think for a full series, both teams healthy, Golden State is going to need more reliable offense in those spots. But that is my game recap. I will be doing these periodically during the season. 9-2 Golden State Warriors. Great statement win. Steph Curry. MVP type game, might I add, because he just outplayed Shea and Luka back-to-back games of 35 plus with great decision making in spots. So yeah, that's it. Have a good one. Follow me on all of my links. I'm about to go to work. But yeah, peace out. Appreciate basketball. Salute.